Hi there and welcome back to my channel, Smiley Mama. Today we're going to talk about clogged ducts and mastitis. One really common breastfeeding challenge is clogged milk ducts, which sometimes can turn into mastitis, which is a breast infection. So first of all, what is a clogged duct? So when we're talking about clogged ducts, it's basically some milk that is in there that hasn't been removed, and for whatever reason, it hardens and is difficult to get out. So what does it feel like when you get a clogged duct? Typically, you'll wake up and maybe you're changing your clothes or stretching and you notice that one of your breasts is sore. And if you feel around, you can find the sore spot, and there's usually a hard lump in your breast. That is typically a clogged milk duct. Not always. So if you're unsure of what's going on, please seek medical attention. But a lot of times, if you're a breastfeeding mom, that is a sign that you have a clogged milk duct. What can you do about a clogged duct? So there are a lot of tricks you can try. For me, what really seems to help is breastfeeding as often as possible on the affected breast. Typically when you're breastfeeding, you're gonna switch sides at each feeding. But when I have a clogged milk duct, I like to start on the side that has the clog first until it feels better. The baby has the strongest suck at the beginning of a feeding session, so if I can start on that breast every time, then that gives me the best chance of the baby removing the clog for me. You can pump, but a baby suck is going to be a lot more efficient at getting clogs out. So I recommend if you are pumping, maybe you're pumping at work, if you could take a day off and be with baby and get the baby to remove the clog, that's going to be your best chance. Another little tip you can do is called dangle feeding, which is a little extreme, but it really does help. So we're gonna let gravity be our friend. So if you kind of get on all fours, prop the baby up maybe in a boppy or something like that, and lean over the baby to nurse. The weight of gravity pulling and the baby nursing, I tell you what, can remove that clog in no time. Don't worry about clogs hurting your baby. There's nothing that's going to harm the baby from them getting one out and drinking it. It's not going to hurt the baby at all. Another thing you can try when you have clogged ducts is massage. So either when you're nursing or when you're pumping, just rubbing the affected area and always making sure that you move out. You don't want to rub up the breast, you want to work down. So we're really encouraging the flow down and out of the breast. A vibrating toothbrush can be just the thing to work out a clog. So you would just take the vibrating toothbrush and put it directly on the clog while you're nursing, maybe even do that same motion down towards the nipple. But that can be especially helpful to break it up and get that clog out of there. Whenever you're having issues breastfeeding, something to keep in mind is heat encourages milk to flow and cold encourages your milk to stop flowing. So what we're wanting with a clogged duct is for that clog to be removed. So a warm compress, like a hot wash rag on your chest right before you nurse, can help encourage that clog to come out. The reason it's important to get rid of these clogs is because if they're left in there too long, sometimes they can get infected. And if you get an infected milk duct, that can be mastitis. So what does mastitis feel like? Mastitis feels similar to a clogged duct, where you will have soreness in one breast usually, and you may feel a lump like you would a clogged duct. A lot of times if it's mastitis and it's become infected, you will see a red streak on your skin where the clog is, and then moving up your chest, or I guess it could move down. Mine have always gone up. So if you have that sensitivity, that soreness, and you see the red streak, you can kind of be clued in that this is turning into an infection. The other way you'll know is you feel like you have the flu. Achiness, fever, just overall being run down and tired. If you have that, plus you have a sore breast, odds are you have mastitis. I've had mastitis a few times, and I really hope I never have to experience it again. I literally wake up feeling like I've been hit by a bus. I can remember one morning waking up, seeing the red streak, feeling the way I felt, and begging my husband not to go to work. I remember thinking, I don't even think I can pick up the baby, let alone take care of the baby all day long. So mastitis is very serious, and you definitely need to get it treated right away and try to get rid of that infection, as well as clear any clogs that you may have. What can you do about mastitis? Things you can do for mastitis are the exact same things you can do for clogged milk ducts, because the start of it typically is a clogged milk duct. So if we can remove the clog, we can remove the infection. So you're going to do all of the things like a warm compress, massage, all the things we just talked about. But on top of that, we need to try to fight the infection. So I would recommend things like garlic and grapefruit seed extract and oil of oregano are all natural killers of infection. So I would be taking all of the above. And on top of that is sunflower lecithin, or even soy lecithin. You can find these at health food stores, and sometimes you can even find them at like a Walgreens type pharmacy. They make a liquid, and so I would prefer an organic sunflower lecithin, but if you can't get your hands on that, then any old lecithin will do. But what it does is it's a supplement that helps thin your milk out so that you aren't as likely to have clogs, and it actually helps clear out the clogs. So I would take that right away. It doesn't hurt you, it doesn't hurt the baby. You can actually take that as a preventative measure too. So if you find that you're getting a lot of clogged ducts, or you have had more than one episode of mastitis, then you might think about taking lecithin every day as a preventative measure. But you definitely want to take it if you think you have mastitis to help clear that out as soon as possible. If you're doing all these things and you're still under the weather with mastitis and running a fever and feeling horrible, the next course of action would be to see your doctor and get antibiotics. Typically, mastitis gets worse and worse every 12 hours or so. So you really want to turn that around as quickly as you can. And if you're not improving, then it's probably time to get the antibiotics and get rid of that nasty infection. I mentioned sunflower lecithin, but some other things you can do to try to prevent clogged ducts and prevent mastitis are making sure that your bra is fitted, and your bra is fitted well to your body, and so it's not too big, not too small, and then it does not have underwire. You do not want to put pressure anywhere on your breast, especially if you're breastfeeding, where you're kind of cutting off at that point. Because that's really bad for your overall breast health, but especially if you're breastfeeding, it's going to cause clogged ducts. Some women even find the seat belt on their drive to and from work can be really aggravating to their chest. So if you are noticing a lot of clogged ducts in that area, you may, kind of put a pad on that seat belt or something to make sure that you're not putting excess pressure on your breasts. The best way to make sure that you don't get clogged ducts is to breastfeed on demand, frequently, not skipping feedings. I know a lot of busy mamas can get into a bad habit of not pumping when their baby is eating if you're away from the baby. So if the baby is eating, you need to be pumping or either that or feeding the baby. So if you're not, you're skipping a feeding and the milk is just stuck in your breast, and that's going to lead to clogged ducts and possibly mastitis. So for your health, you need to be breastfeeding or pumping regularly and make sure that that milk is not sitting there. The other thing that might cause mastitis and clogged ducts is if your baby has a poor latch. So if you're in the early weeks of breastfeeding and you're finding that you have a lot of clogged ducts, maybe you've had mastitis, I would definitely be working with an IBCLC, International Board Certified Lactation Consultant, to make sure that the baby has the best possible latch for your baby's sake and for your own sake. I hope you found some insight today, some encouragement, or I've left you just with a smile. Good luck with all your breastfeeding challenges.